Hey everyone, it's Types, and today we need to talk about Twinleaf again. So this is pretty much it's an update style video. If you don't know, Twinleaf is it's supposed to be well, we'll get into it a bit more, but it's a Pokemon TCG client essentially. You can play Pokemon on it. It's being developed by Dan TDM. That's like the head person. And it's meant to kind of cover and fill in like the gaps of what Live doesn't do, which is a lot. So, um, and so far before this, we had essentially no news, and then recently there's been a bit of drama. I don't know if this is good news or if it's bad news. I'll say it was announced, I think it was around 2.5 months ago, I believe at the beginning of um, July, maybe. Um, I could be wrong about that date, but it was, I believe it was around 2.5 months ago. So, Twinleaf was announced, and then we heard essentially nothing about it. And then later they actually removed stuff. They had like there's a Twinleaf website. If you go to twinleaf.gg, that'll take you to the website. It essentially has nothing on it. It links to the Twitter page. And both of those they removed info from. Notably, they removed the names of the people who are working on it, and then they removed like card images. So that's a thing. And we'll talk about what that means later. But first of all, here's an image of the official website. As you can see, it doesn't have much of anything going on here. It says it's made by fans for fans. And then it's coming soon. It said coming soon the whole time. I think most people, certainly I assumed that it would be like coming. We'd have some, not necessarily that it would be like out in like a few months, although that's kind of what it implied, but I assumed we'd hear something within a few weeks about how it's going, and it essentially never said anything until there was drama and they were kind of forced to say something, which even that was done through like essentially like back alleys, like through Discord as opposed to posting in a more public place, um, like YouTube or like Twitter or whatever. So I personally don't go on Twitter really. I had to check out and find out about some of this stuff. Um, but they've done a bad job communicating. Again, we'll talk about that. So here are the developers. It's a bit confusing. So the ones who are officially working on it are the episode, Joe, and then Charlie or C4. They are definitely working on it. Are they the only developers? They might be, or like programmers. I'm not really sure. Dan TDM, yeah, as I said, the one who's running it, I believe is still working on it, although he has had nothing. I believe he has had some personal issues, which could be reason to why he's not saying anything. Of course, Dan TDM, a very big person outside of Pokemon, so a lot of other stuff going on. But he's the one who started it. But it's a bit hard to determine his commitment levels right now when he hasn't said anything about it. Um, and then Jake Gearhart also maybe working on it. I think Jake Gearhart might not be programming it, may just be a reference, like someone they're referencing and like talking to about stuff. Um, Not actually working on it. Again, I don't know. It's a bit hard to follow because they've not given very good information about it. However, what we do know is Jared Grimes, who goes by possibly something else, but I don't remember what that um, is not on the team. So that is because I don't know. This is like so Jared had I don't know if it was like a falling out with the team, but just could not continue working on it. Saying a few things. One, that the workload was too much, but also that the project essentially was not good. There's a lot of concern about legal issues, I guess, which is a bit strange as there are, as we'll talk about a lot of things very similar to Twinleaf that are already out there, and they have not, as far as I know, had any legal issues. I'm not an expert, but um, if they even had legal issues, it doesn't make sense why Twinleaf would. Um, but apparently, some of the people are very concerned about that. Um, and then also, like, I don't know, Jared, when he was talking about it, didn't necessarily was not happy with the way it was going. I don't know if they ended on bad terms or if they were just like not super. just like burnt out. But I don't think it was. I don't think it was good terms. I'll say. Um, from what it seems like, it was neutral or bad. Um, and so it's a bit hard to say whether or not all the stuff being said is 100% true. It certainly is probably is biased in some sense. Um, and also it's hard to find other coverage of it. I know For the Win has done coverage of it, another YouTuber, and he said some solid stuff. I believe he is friends with one of the people, so he is getting, of course, biased information, as everyone is. I'm not saying this, what I'm saying isn't biased. I certainly want Twinleaf to do well. And I don't have, I'm not talking to like Dan TDM, but I figure the more people talking about it, the better. I've not heard anyone other than For the Win talk about it either, which is a bit unfortunate, as I think just general coverage is good. Although you can watch For the Win's videos if you just search up For the Win TCG Twinleaf, it'll show up and you'll get some possibly more detailed info. Certainly, it's some info that won't be completely covered here, but yeah, there's some beef. I don't know if beef's the right word, but some bad blood going on here. Which means now they're down a person, which is not good. So I believe they only have 2 developers, which is not a lot of people, and that is why things are taking so long. But it's strange that they're not saying anything. Okay, so first of all, what is Twinleaf? We got actually some nice new information about that. It's because before we really had no idea at all what it was. People just kind of made assumptions and guesses and hopes, and it wasn't very clear, but now it is more clear. So this is from, I believe, the episode, who said that the team is making 2 projects. One is a manual simulator that's multiplayer for testing, coaching, the ability to undo actions, etc., and an automated simulator. So if you play a card, it does the card. So this is a little strange, notably for the manual simulator. The episode said he's not working on that, but that already exists. Like there are lots of those around, so I'm not exactly sure the purpose of making them. I personally don't really like them either because, as I've said this before, not in like a mean way, but like in an honest way, they're kind of like a glorified version of PowerPoint, where it's just like you move stuff around, but it's awkward. It's like if you saw me play Untap, that is exactly what Untap is. They described it as the limitless simulator for 2 people, which is just like Untap or like other things like that. Like Tabletop Simulator, which is not free, but Untap is free, and there are other things like it. There's also TCG 1. TCG 1 is something that I really do not know too much about. However, I know that I believe it is automated, but I think there are some notable issues with it. There have to be some issues because it's not played by that many people. But an automated simulator is something that people are looking for to replace live versus the manual simulator. Um, is not really something that most people are looking for. I mean, it's already out there a lot. So versus an automated simulator is much harder to do. I think TCG1 might not be totally up to date and a bit more awkward to use. So yeah, an automated simulator is kind of what like Live is as well. Live is an automated simulator, and then a manual simulator isn't going to be doing too much for most people. I don't know how exactly it would work. Maybe if they have like servers and then you like play against someone through that. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure the purpose of that, and we haven't heard anything about the purpose of that either, other than it's for testing, coaching, ability to undo actions, which you can do in other places as well. So that's not too useful. I'm not sure exactly what makes it like good, or I'm not sure what it looks like at all. We haven't seen anything about that. We have seen some stuff about the automated simulator, which is harder to make, but we've seen more stuff, which is kind of strange. But that's fine, I guess. I'm not sure why they're splitting up their team of 2 people. Though that seems like not the strat here, but I'm not the developer. So how's it going? So first of all, currently every card has its own unique script. We'll eventually move it to a similar system for TCG1, but this is the way for now. So I don't exactly know how that works, as I said, but they want to make sure that the cards work, which is good. Obviously, that's a lot of work, and so they're going to be using a lot of effort doing that, but that's fine. They want to get it to work and polish and stuff like that, and we'll take a look at that a bit later. So they're just trying to get all of the cards in there. They say that 60 to 75% of the standard meta cards are done, which is not a ton, but then they also said a good portion of black and white era meta cards, which is kind of strange because that's like random why they do that era as opposed to like Sun and Moon, which is more recent. But anyways, that's not actually a ton of cards. But if they're doing it one by one, that's a lot of work. So it seems slow, but it seems like they are making progress on it, which is good. And we'll see how one of the cards works in a second. So here is actually one of them. Let's see, I think I messed something up. So let's see a demo, which is this. And keep in mind, this is an interface for prototype purposes only. This is what I think the episode said. So the functionality will be the same, but it will look different. Which, if you can see, this looks, it looks bad, I'll say. But we can see it here. And yeah, this is Sableye, placing damage counters. It's a pop-up box, so you can't see the board, which is interesting. Hopefully you can see the board. Obviously, that's kind of important. And this is taking prize cards. So let's see. So the taking prize cards is I don't know. It's obviously this looks kind of ugly, but I guess it works. The prize cards, one thing to note is for feedback. If they're looking for feedback, it's not labeled. The prize cards aren't labeled. You can see them on the board here. You can where is it? Here you can see that the prize cards. Oh, this is awkward. Okay, here you can see that the prize cards are labeled on the left, or you can see which ones you took. But if you play a card like Peonia or something, I don't know how that'll be tracked. Also, you can see in the middle here, this is a card that's not out yet, which is interesting that they're adding that before like adding the current cards. But it'll be out very. Oh, actually no, that'll be out. That's Paradox Rift. So that's going to be out in a few months. So I guess that shows that they're not really ready. They're not expecting to be done for like another 3 months, which is a bit disappointing. But yeah, it also looks very ugly. The top-down perspective or the angled perspective is strange. I'm not sure the purpose of that, but it's a thing. And then that's about it. There's not too much to say here. I can't tell what this thing. Oh, I guess the discard pile is above the deck, which is kind of strange, but whatever. I guess there's a stadium spot for each player, a lost zone spot. A card like Eterna seems difficult to code in, but that's fine. So when is it coming and is it coming? So the first comment, someone said, one of the developers said, I believe this was Jared Grimes, who left the team when leaving, said that it could be released. There's the potential to, which also very much implies that it might not be released, which is not a good sign if it doesn't get released. But there's a possibility that it never comes out, which is kind of what this is saying. But there's a possibility it does come out. And then someone said, I can't see one of the devs said, I can't see a manual version being fully refined and launched within this calendar year. If it is finished, maybe early 2024, which is obviously farther off than we'd like. Especially because they said initially it was coming soon. They haven't offered very detailed like descriptions of how it's going as well, so that's a bit unfortunate. But I just wanted to say that the timetable's not looking too great, but it is slowly coming along. And so maybe like another like 6 months, which is a little, maybe like 4, but it seems like it's quite a few months away, which is a bit underwhelming. And that's about it. Obviously, not great news, but it's something. Uh, and so there's some update. I just want to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you found it useful. And any other things you have to link to me, I'd love that as well. And I'll try to keep you guys updated. I'm interested in hearing how interested you are in this as well. I'm very interested. I was. The lack of updates have been a bit unfortunate, but I hope this comes out well, and I'm excited to see you next time. If you enjoyed, subscribe as well for more content. And yeah, see ya.